The late-night gas station stood quietly under the dim glow of flickering overhead lights, its few parked cars casting long shadows across the cracked asphalt. The hum of a distant highway was the only sound breaking the silence. Into this stillness, a sleek black SUV pulled slowly into a spot near the pump. From the driver's seat stepped a woman, calm, composed, her every move measured but alert. She was dressed casually, but there was an unmistakable strength in her stance, a quiet confidence in her gaze as she reached for the pump handle. Unbeknownst to the few others around, this was no ordinary woman. Yet tonight, in this lonely stretch of concrete and neon, she would face a moment that would test everything she stood for. From the shadows near the convenience store entrance, a group of men emerged, their steps heavy, voices low but menacing. Their eyes locked onto her with a mix of suspicion and hostile intent, closing the distance with a kind of tension that immediately set nerves on edge. As they drew near, the air seemed to thicken, an invisible line drawn in the night between threat and survival. The woman's expression didn't waver. Instead, beneath the calm surface was a fire, a readiness forged through years of discipline and hardship. What none of these men knew was that she carried more than just confidence. She was a fierce MMA champion, trained to defend herself with precision and power few could match. This was no simple confrontation. It was a battle of will, a challenge to the resilience and strength of a woman who refused to be a victim. The coming moments would shatter assumptions and rewrite the story of what it means to stand firm in the face of danger. Tonight's story is about more than just a fight at a gas station. It's about resilience, self-defense, and the empowerment that comes from mastering one's own strength, proving that true power isn't given, it's earned, and fiercely protected. Born and raised in a tough neighborhood, the woman's early life was shaped by both hardship and unwavering family support. From a young age, she witnessed the struggles her community faced, economic challenges, social pressures, and the need to stay strong in the face of adversity. Her parents, both hard-working and determined, instilled in her the values of perseverance, discipline, and self-respect. They emphasized the importance of education and resilience, teaching her that while the world might be tough, she could always control her own destiny through hard work and inner strength. Her cultural background played a significant role in shaping her identity. Growing up, she was surrounded by stories of strong women, mothers, aunts, and grandmothers who had endured and triumphed against odds. These role models fueled her sense of pride and determination. Despite the obstacles, she was encouraged to pursue her passions and never let society's low expectations define her path. Her introduction to MMA came somewhat unexpectedly during her teenage years. Initially, she was drawn to martial arts as a way to channel her energy and build confidence. Early training was grueling. The physical demands were intense, and the environment was often male-dominated, making her determination all the more vital. She faced skepticism and doubt from trainers and peers who questioned whether a young black woman could succeed in such a competitive, physically demanding sport. But instead of discouraging her, these challenges ignited a fierce resolve to prove herself. Through relentless training, early losses, and countless hours spent honing her technique, she began to carve out a place for herself in the MMA community. Each setback became a stepping stone, teaching her valuable lessons about resilience, strategy, and mental toughness. Her natural athleticism combined with a rigorous work ethic quickly turned her into a formidable fighter. Her rise as a champion was marked by key victories that showcased not only her skill but also her strategic mind and unyielding spirit. She earned respect in regional and national tournaments, defeating opponents who often underestimated her. The journey demanded sacrifices, long hours away from family, intense physical pain, and the pressure of constantly proving her worth. Yet, with every win, her confidence grew, and so did her influence as a role model for other women and minorities in combat sports. Beyond the physical aspects of MMA, the sport deeply shaped her personal philosophy. It taught her that true empowerment comes from mastering both body and mind. Discipline in training translated into discipline in life. The lessons of respect, humility, and perseverance became guiding principles. MMA was more than a sport. It was a pathway to reclaiming power in a world that frequently tried to diminish her. Today, she stands not only as a champion inside the cage but as a symbol of resilience and strength outside of it. Her story is one of overcoming bias, breaking barriers, and inspiring others to find their own power, no matter the odds. It was late at night, and the gas station was quiet except for the hum of the fluorescent lights and the occasional flicker of a flickering sign. She pulled up in her car, the cool night air brushing against her face as she stepped out, calm but alert. Years of training had taught her to always stay aware of her surroundings, and tonight was no different. As she approached the convenience store, she noticed a group of men lingering near the pumps. Their body language immediately set off alarms in her mind. There was a tension in the air, something off about the way they watched her. The group started to move closer as she filled her tank, their intent clear in the way their eyes narrowed, their voices low but aggressive. One stepped forward, blocking her path, demanding money, their tone harsh and threatening. The atmosphere thickened, the energy turning hostile as they jeered and circled her like predators sizing up their target. Despite the sudden danger, she kept her breathing steady, her mind working quickly to assess the threat. She knew panic could make things worse. Her eyes scanned the group, their size, numbers, possible weapons. Her MMA training kicked in, not just the physical moves but the mental discipline to stay composed under pressure. "Hey, you don't want to do this," she said calmly, her voice steady but firm. The men sneered, dismissive of the calm tone. One laughed loudly, mocking her confidence, while another stepped even closer, invading her space. Words were exchanged, sharp and escalating, insults thrown with the intent to provoke fear or submission. But she didn't back down. Instead, she met their hostility head-on. "I'm not someone to mess with," she said, her eyes locking with the ringleaders. "I'm an MMA champion." For a moment, the world seemed to pause. The declaration hung in the air, a challenge and a warning wrapped in those words. The gang's laughter faltered, replaced by a flicker of uncertainty. Some exchanged glances, unsure how to respond to this unexpected revelation. She didn't wait for them to decide. Moving with precision and speed honed by years of training, she took control of the situation. The first attacker lunged, but she sidestepped, using his momentum against him with a swift throw that sent him stumbling to the ground. Another tried to grab her from behind, but she twisted free and locked in a quick submission hold, forcing him to tap out in seconds. Her technique was flawless, her strength undeniable. The gang was stunned, their aggression evaporating under the force of her skill and confidence. A few tried to regroup, hesitating as the reality of her prowess became clear. The balance of power shifted entirely in her favor. Seeing their plan unravel, the gang began to retreat, some muttering curses as they backed away into the shadows. The gas station returned to its quiet state, the tension replaced by a new respect, from her and from any witnesses who had been watching. She stood tall, heart-pounding but mind clear, knowing she had defended herself not just with strength but with the courage to claim her space. The night had started with danger, but it ended with her proving that true power is earned through resilience, skill, and unshakable confidence. The moment the gang retreated into the night, the atmosphere around the gas station shifted palpably. Bystanders who had been frozen in shock began to murmur among themselves, some approaching cautiously to check if she was okay. The gas station clerk, who had been nervously watching from behind the counter, came outside with a mix of relief and admiration. "That was incredible," he said, eyes wide. "You handled that like a true pro." Local patrons who'd arrived just before the confrontation shared their astonishment. Many expressed their gratitude that she had stayed calm and turned the situation around without anyone getting hurt. It sparked conversations immediately about the importance of self-defense and vigilance, especially for women and people of color who often face threats in public spaces. "We need more stories like this," one bystander remarked. "It shows strength and courage can break fear." News of the incident quickly spread through neighborhood chatter and community forums. When the story hit social media, it resonated far beyond the gas station's parking lot. Clips and eyewitness accounts circulated, gathering thousands of likes and shares. Support messages poured in from across the city and even nationwide, celebrating her bravery and skill. Many highlighted how her MMA training was not just a sport but a vital tool for empowerment and protection. Advocates for women's safety and racial justice used the moment to emphasize broader conversations about the dangers marginalized groups face and the critical need for accessible self-defense resources. Comments like, "This is what every woman should aspire to, strength and confidence," and "She showed us what it means to stand up and own your power," flooded the feeds. Some even called for local community centers and gyms to offer more inclusive martial arts classes. For the woman herself, the incident was both a trial and a reaffirmation. In interviews and statements following the event, she spoke candidly about how moments like these tested her resolve but also deepened her commitment to her craft. "I train not just to fight but to live with confidence and peace of mind," she shared. "This experience reminded me why I started MMA, to empower myself and others to face challenges head-on." She expressed hope that her story would inspire others to break free from fear and recognize their own strength, whatever their circumstances. "We all have power within us," she said. "Sometimes it just takes a moment like this to show the world, and ourselves, what that power looks like." The community's response underscored a collective yearning for safety, respect, and dignity, and her courageous stand became a beacon of possibility and resilience for many. The gas station incident stands as a powerful reminder of how self-defense can serve as a profound form of empowerment, especially for women who often find themselves vulnerable in public spaces. For Black women, in particular, the stakes are even higher. Historically and socially, Black women face layers of prejudice and stereotyping that amplify their risks, whether through racial profiling, underestimation, or outright hostility. In such environments, cultivating physical and mental strength becomes not just an option, but a vital tool for survival and dignity. Martial arts like MMA go beyond just combat skills. They are a journey into confidence, discipline, and self-awareness. The rigorous training builds more than muscle. It builds a mindset. Practitioners learn to read threats calmly, to harness their fear into focus, and to act decisively when necessary. For many Black women, these benefits have an added dimension, reclaiming control in spaces where societal biases might otherwise strip it away. The protagonist's mastery of MMA symbolizes this reclaiming, transforming what might have been a moment of helplessness into one of undeniable power. Moreover, the incident challenges pervasive stereotypes that paint Black women as either overly aggressive or overly vulnerable. It dismantles the myth that they cannot be protectors of their own safety or that they lack the composure to handle confrontation effectively. Instead, it highlights strength paired with calm intelligence, qualities too often overlooked. By standing her ground, the MMA champion disrupts expectations and offers a new narrative, one where Black women are agents of their own protection and dignity. This story also invites a broader societal reflection on how fear and misunderstanding fuel many dangerous encounters. When marginalized individuals are perceived through lenses clouded by bias, conflict often follows. Martial arts, in this sense, serve not only as a physical defense but as a metaphor for breaking cycles of fear and prejudice. It encourages communities to rethink how power is expressed and respected, recognizing strength in those historically underestimated. For women everywhere, this narrative is a call to action, to invest in oneself, to embrace the power within, and to refuse to be diminished by circumstance or stereotype. Whether through martial arts, education, or community solidarity, owning one's strength is the first step to changing the world around you. The protagonist's story is not just about a fight at a gas station. It is about transforming fear into confidence and potential. As we close, the message is clear and inspiring. Every individual holds the capacity to stand firm, to defend their space, and to turn moments of threat into opportunities for empowerment. The courage to face adversity head-on, coupled with the skills and mindset to protect oneself, transforms vulnerability into resilience. This story of a Black woman MMA champion is a beacon for anyone striving to overcome bias, claim respect, and live boldly. In a world where challenges and prejudices persist, stories like hers remind us that strength, both seen and unseen, can rewrite narratives. Owning your power is not just an act of survival, but a profound statement of identity and justice. And with every stand taken, the ground shifts a little more toward equality, safety, and dignity for all.